All right, now that I got the time calibrated, let's try this again. First one fuck up, second one will work. So, danger, white dating coaches, online dating testimonials does not count. And you might be thinking, well, testimonials is testimonials, John. You know, it should count, but in reality, it doesn't. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you the statistics that white people has a higher response rate than every other race in the entire world. It does not count. It does not count, and they're tricking your mind because they're posting the same fucking testimonials over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Exactly, it's all science. Exactly, JP. So let's talk about the science. Let's look at the stats. So instead of boring you, the reason why you should watch is if you're trapped in online dating testimonials and your sheep mind is thinking that's very important, I'm going to show you why it's not important and it doesn't count and why there's no skill behind it. It's automatic for white people. So let's look at the stats. It's just like George Floyd over here. You see him getting like stomped on. It's horrible to say something like that. But for online dating testimonials, it's like the sky is blue. The sky is blue. Just like ducks like to be going to water. It's just like white people will be a testimonial. Okay, let's continue. So if you take away this social skills, social calibrations, emotional intelligence, and use very little game, and you break it all down just to the science, we can look at the charts. Let's take a look. According to this chart over here, okay, if you look at it, so this is not like a bullshit thing. You would see that white men, let's see, right over here has the highest response rate. You look at men, and they all go to white except for black women going to black here. See that? So it's all white. It's like white privileged right here. All the women goes to white. And then you look over here, men responding to women. A lot of them respond to Asian women because Asian women are more submissive, which is kind of strange. Let's look at the science. All the charts will be identical. And if you start to look at the lowest response rates, blacks. I taught a black student. I fucked up teaching him for online. I'm not an online dating guy. However, blacks have the lowest response rate and black women. So what does this mean? And why does whites have the highest response rate? And when you look at the stats here, you can actually see reply by senders. Reply by senders. White male is the one that replies the least because they have the most response rate. This is right down here. You see all that red means the worst. It looks kind of pink there. And yellow means good. Yellow and green on the bottom. You see the white men? The white men have more women replying to them than any other race in the world. Therefore, they're almost like the hot chick of online dating. So therefore, why would that count? Why would that count? That is not skills. That means it's like a celebration of white privilege when you're doing online dating. All right. So when you can see Asian males, if you look at the stats suggest is not the worst. That's the funny thing. Black males, when you look at their stats, believe it or not, I was really shocked. They're the second one, okay? The second line. If you can't see it clearly, the black males have more red than any other race. Asian males, at the very least, has Persian women at least responding to them. So therefore, they're the second last, next to Indians. This is just online. If you take away the game, you take away social skills, you just look at it. So Indians, Asians, and blacks are considered the negative stereotype for online game. But whites are just like, holy shit. They get a lot of response rates. And very strange, the Pacific Islanders also get a decent amount. White people getting so much, online fucking results because on the bottom, the white gets all the response rate. Why does that count as a testimonial? Why does it count? Because as soon as you have a white student, you're automatically going to get a testimonial. And I know a lot of you here are bouncing off because you don't care. Second of all, a lot of you are emotional right now because it's like a prison living inside, the lockdown. A lot of you have been mentally broken, and I'm not mentally broken. That's why I'm still on YouTube Live. I just neglected it. Let's talk about why this is all bullshit. Evolutionary psychology, John. Exactly. This is a science. So let's talk about the science, okay? Let's see. White men are most snobbiest race. Replied rate by female senders. Okay, so it seems like if we look at the science behind it, it seems like every single race does have like a response rate. Okay, they do have a response rate. So according to response rate, it seems like they're all pretty much even across the board. Or this is what the guys respond to, I believe. The Asian male responds to all the women across the board except black women. I'm like, John, that sounds racist. How dare you insult black? No, I taught a black student that got a lot of black women, and black women responds to most of the other races, but most of the males do not respond to the black female. So there is no theory here. There's no theory. They are, black people really are the second highest in Daygame, but this fucking lowest online because of the stereotypes. They can't get past the stereotypes. And that scares women. However, let's look at all this stuff. I made a chart here. I made a chart, as you can see over here. Hold on a second. Okay. It's a skill chart in game. Impressive is Daygame. Unimpressive or less impressive is fucking night game, and the least impressive is Tinder. So what's written in this chart that makes it so important? Yo, what's up, man? So for Daygame, the reason why it's impressive is women are not down to fuck. So you may be thinking, wait a minute, night game the women are down to fuck, in Tinder the women are down to fuck. And you're like, shit, you're right, John. Holy shit, you're right. The women are down to fuck. That's why they go to Tinder, and that's why they go online. Or I mean online and night game, because they want to fuck. Or hang around with their friends and maybe fuck. Daygame, they're not automatically going to fuck. And this is why people like Brad Ass Kiss, who's gonna get backstabbed by, you know, self-proclaimed high lay counts guy. When these white people are so privileged and they're like bragging about going to Asia and all this stuff and Tinder this, Tinder that, that's not impressive, because it's a celebration of white privilege. It's not impressive. I'll say this again, because it's a celebration of white privilege. That's online dating. So not down to fuck. That's something you cannot argue with in Daygame. And unlike night game, is harder to convert because you gotta convert the code traffic, which is Daygame, unless you dress well. I'm not saying I'm super dressed well. This is John Wayne's outfit. That's what I'm wearing today. It's blast from the past. However, if you're not dressed well, you have to convert from your height, your race, and you slowly convert them through an Insta date to a poll, to a close. And with Brad Ass Kiss, 50% of his fucking polls are just polls. They don't convert all the way to the end, which is kind of strange. That's such a low odds for being white. So 100 here and 100 nothing. That means if self-proclaimed high lay count guys, if we look at white stats, because the white stats are exactly the same, 11% of the women will come out on dates through text game to a white person. My Pakistani mentor, it's like 1 in 3. So his odds are 33%. Their one's 11%, just from texting. But however, if the odds are all correct across the board, and Brad Ass Kiss, who only got one Daygame lay testimonial, which is complete bullshit, by the way. If he only got one testimonial, then maybe, oh, I got 80 poll infields. Maybe they're just 40 poll infields. Maybe half of them fucked up. If the stats are correct, let's look at the algorithms. The algorithms. Bullshit. Okay? So most short, skinny Asians below like 5'9", they're gonna have a bit of a struggle in Daygame unless they maximize their skill and they dress in husband material. That's easier. People don't want to hear this shit. Okay, so you have to, unless you're gonna triple your approaches in a spam approach. I know this sounds horrible. I'm just gonna tell you guys the truth, open and win and all. There's no sugarcoating the science. Okay, short. So what's so special about night game? ABCs of attraction before COVID-19 could actually do night game. which means that Asians do not need the entire skill set. So according to this one, Asians could do night game since it requires no social skills or emotional intelligence. It's just drunk down to fuck women. So when you look at the chart, if you look at the day game, you will need social skills, social calibrations in body language, emotional intelligence in the game. So that's day game. So what about night game? If ABCs of Attraction and Queefing Casanova can do it, I think he has 2 day game lay testimonials, by the way, just 2. So night game, women are, this is not down to fuck. Okay, this is down to fuck. Night game. So for night game, which is more impressive than online dating, night game for social skills, social calibrations, emotional intelligence in the game. So how much of this is in the chart? Because we can talk about looks, money, status plus game, race and all that stuff, but let's not talk about that for now. So first of all, in night game, there is no social skills whatsoever. It's just conversational game. So there's a little bit of game, just a little bit, not the highest, but a little bit of game here. Okay, game. No social skills. There is some body language, social calibrations. Okay, is there any emotional intelligence, vibing, and nothing like that? No, it's just filter until you fuck her. And for some people, maybe their emotional intelligence is more body language, which is stand up straight, pretend that you're gonna close no matter what. And this kind of bullshit mindset for Asian men is gonna lead nothing to dry pose or just not even closing. Because if Brad asked Kiss and self-proclaimed high lay count guy believe that, oh yeah, you just gotta assume you close. I would say before you assume the close, you must stack the value. So I'll say this again. Before you assume the close, you must stack the value. You must stack everything in your motherfucking favor, including wearing Rolexes, dressing rich, husband material, maybe blazers. Today I'm not dressing like that. Plus, you know, having like a positive stereotype race. You dress like you're a positive stereotype whitewash person. So now that you're starting to see this chart, what about online dating? That's a very good question. John, how's the online dating chart? Okay, so it's the same 4 things. Social skills, okay? Social calibrations, emotional intelligence, and game. So how much skills is in online when the women are really down to fuck? Okay, online. Maybe what's called Tinder is easier to remember. Okay, Tinder. This is excluding white people, by the way. This is excluding the white privilege. Because nobody wants to talk about white privilege. We just can't talk about it, even though scientifically they are in the stats. So basically, for online dating, how much social skills is there, guys? 0. We all know that. It's not even like my opinions try and manipulate you. 0 social skills. How much body language is there outside the pictures? 0 is the fucking pictures. There's no fucking social skills like or social body language. It's not like you can change your body language in text and video chatter. Oh shit. How much emotional intelligence do you need besides a little bit of texting with a little bit of emoting? 0. You can't fucking emote with her unless you're on the phone with her or Skype chatting her. How much game is there, really? A little bit. A little bit. Maybe the way you change the way you're typing, but the person who is higher on this chart, who are white people, by the way, are going to get more volume of women that are going to respond and more likely going to convert. So this is a celebration of white privilege. And now let's bring the algorithms, looks, money, stats. And Todd Valentine did say like, oh yeah, it's just an excuse. Well, Todd Valentine, Mr. Scientific, you don't have a single polling field. Never mind even a lay, fucking same day lay in the field. Todd Valentine, Mr. Scientific, no offense, but actually fuck you, Todd. You only have 1 lay testimonial. At least you got one lay testimonial, and self-proclaimed high lay count guys got 0, and Brad Ass Kiss has 1 in Daygame. You see that? So their looks, money, status, white, tall. They just don't have enough social skills. That's why they don't have any testimonials, because there's not enough game. There's not enough emotional intelligence. They're just so close to that line. It's a celebration of white privilege, but the problem is they abuse their white privilege and they don't know how to close because they don't have any empathy. They think you can just sexualize it a little bit here and there and seeding the pole, right? And they just lead her into the room and they're not ready. The women's state of mind's like, what the fuck? But they're psychopaths. So therefore, who gives a shit about what she thinks? Sociopath game. Try just pull her without her feelings, but if you got more value, you can get over the line. But they couldn't even get any fucking Daygame testimonials. Brad Ass Kiss 1, Todd Valentine 1, James Tuss 1. You see a pattern here? Just 1. That's it. How many does Johnny Elite have? 435 late pool testimonials. Plus, I gotta count all the boot camp testimonials that I've been counting. So now that you put this in the equation, you chew it through this thing. So Daygame requires the most skills. This is why self-proclaimed, like I said, the word self-proclaimed, no proof. When you go like this, it's not equal proof. Just because like, hey guys, here's my proof, and you mute the volume, all you see is just this, like just fapping it. You can't just try to flip people's switches of their mind and automatically they're just like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because the problem with the sheeps is that A plus B equals C. A plus B equals C. So there's like, well, he claims he has 1,000 something lay counts, although I had met a guy with 1,500 lay counts in Daygame. He acts absolutely nothing like this guy. So I don't believe it. B. Then you say, well, because he's tall and white, C, he must be good. The problem is the C is the conclusions. That's how you're all stuck. So you'd be like, A, well, because they got online testimonials. B, and you know, they show some students with results. C, this must be transferable to you. That C, you should not draw a conclusion. And proof is proof. If you were in court and all you did is this, and that's how you rationalize, the jury is not going to find that as proof. And you could maybe say, I got a bunch of Tinder lays or seeking arrangements. And then you can start to use those lay pics from Tinder, which one of my Asian students has 60 lays using my Instagram secrets. 60 fucking lays. He went to that high lay count guy for the text game, but he uses all the pictures and algorithms in the science that I use to push the volume. So therefore, that's why there's a difference in testimonials. I did not get this black guy yet during COVID-19 late. And some of these ideas, these big ideas, are not going to work as easily as before. It's going to be way tougher. Before, you could just talk about COVID-19 and deal with the objection, but the longer that women are in lockdown, like a prison, the more their mind kind of shuts down and they rather meet after COVID-19. But we know, at least what I think, it's going to last for 3 years. Vaccine, maybe 1.5 years, maybe 2. But the whole thing to be eradicated would be like 3 years, in my opinion, in my algorithms, in my mental filter. 3 fucking years. That's what I think. Nobody's talking about this because they think it's going to be right over. Now we have to learn how to adapt. So you might find text game or online very appealing, but reality, the more time goes by, it's going to be harder and harder. And white people are going to be benefiting, and all the other races are going to be kicked in the face because white people have enough value to justify getting COVID-19. But it's going to be less and less. It's a celebration of white privilege. And besides, like I said, online has very little game. Most of it is not game, just a little bit here. That's it. Just a little bit of game. So how are people saying that this testimonials count when it's an absolute celebration of white power? That's all it is. It's a celebration of white power. And nowhere should that count. Nowhere should that fucking count. It's not going to be over for such a long time. Good thing your program where you can practice at home. Like a prison, you can rehabilitate your skills, guys. You can rehabilitate. What makes you want to talk what made you want to talk to online testimonial trash if you're white? I don't understand what you mean. What made you want to take the online testimonial trash. If you're white, you don't even need text game. You just need to have enough volume in your close because you're white. Women are eventually gonna, you're gonna eventually close. You don't even need text game. Just be white and just try to make your text a little bit shorter and less retarded, and fucking get her over to a different platform, maybe WhatsApp or Skype, and talk with her a little bit, fap a little bit together, and I should not tell my algorithms on how you should handle text game if you are smart, because I'll be the first one in the world to talk about this. Okay, how about I'll give this away? So this way, you don't need to go to the white trash. Okay, you don't need to go to the white trash. This is just a hypothesis. I need people to test this out. If we can figure this out and we give out the source code, we don't actually need white people and their stupid fucking programs. So basically, for text game, let's just say, for example, you got her on WhatsApp, okay? WhatsApp. Or maybe Skype. It doesn't matter. WhatsApp, Skype. So what you want to do is to ask her if she's open-minded. If she says yes, then it goes to sexting. Let's give out the source code. If she says no, right, then it goes into just a, just a normal fucking phone call or Skype. So that way you can deal with the objections here. Objections. But John, these white people are saying you should text her the objections about coronavirus or some bullshit. How's it been treating you? Well, if you're texting it here in the first month, maybe 3 weeks ago, it would have worked. But you're texting it now, women are like, what the fuck? They've been stuck inside. They've been stuck inside for so long. They don't even want to go outside as much, and they're scared of catching it. Women are more emotional than men. So now they're just like, whatever. So you should bring her to a Skype. But what if she says no to Skype? No. Then you downsell. This is called downsell. You downsell to just a phone call. Phone call. So you just hear her voice, and they build trust that way. You see what I mean? And then eventually, that will eventually get her out, because sometimes tonality can be very important. She built trust because she emotionally invested. So it's a matter of upsells and downsells. And it's called a funnel. These white people are just ripping off Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels and using this funnel technology, which is, if she opts in, right, she says this, then do this. I'm going to teach you the secrets behind the objections dealing. If you want to do it from a minority standpoint, why is John giving this algorithm away? I never planned this. You always have to use statements of empathy. Statements of empathy. So once the problem with that, if you set this objection, this women at this time, then you say this on the chart. The problem is it's not very natural. It's not very, it sounds like an algorithm. And with a big algorithm, unless you're white and you got all these matches, like so privileged up the ass, the woman, like a lemming, is never going to make it to the very end. She's never going to make it to the very end. So you should start using a statements of empathy. I acknowledge. So I acknowledge XYZ. I acknowledge that you want to wait out for COVID-19, and you want to loop it over here, where you can ask her a question. What are you waiting for? But you want to loop it. You loop it until she says yes. Loop, 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 loop. Now it's like a objections handling generator. So any objections could be handled using this method. And I shouldn't be teaching you guys this stuff, because fuck white people. Use my one, you get a result. I won't even count it as a testimonial because it doesn't fucking count. Day game counts. Night game, maybe a little bit. Yeah, sure, it counts. Online, no, it doesn't count. It's a celebration of white privilege. It's a celebration of white privilege. So maybe an objection you might get is, what's a common objection that you can get online? Thanks, John. Go bars. Thanks. No problem. So maybe a common objection is that she can't get over to your place. So you always start with, I acknowledge that you can't come over to my place, but how will you feel? You want to do a soft close. How will you feel if I send you an Uber? But you don't stop there, because white people, because there's so much value, if I got you an Uber. And the problem is that once she is saying no, that there's no downsell. So therefore, he's going to remove her from the fucking funnel. You see that? That's what makes it weak. But instead, you should be looping it over and over until she says yes. What if I got you an Uber and, you can leave at any time? I can get you Uber back home. That way you feel safe. And if you don't feel safe around me, you can look at my ID and take a picture. If I do anything you don't want to, then at the very least, whatever. But that objection is taken care of because you got on a video phone with her. Because you talk with a phone with her. Because you already Skype with her, even if you didn't do sexting. But if she's already sexting, then she's already upsold. Now she's more likely the second time to say yes. Does that make sense? To meeting, because she emotionally invested. So this is just a theory. I would need some people to run the numbers through it. And of course, every race has a different amount of matches and response rate. So white people does not count. I'm telling my other white student who's 18 years old. Remember the guy who lost his virginity? He's good looking. He's handsome. So therefore, he can be somebody who can test this algorithm for me. Okay? However, hey, listen. He has skills now. Okay? With my training, he has skills. You know how in 2 weeks, you know how much money he made in USD? He made $7.2 thousand USD during COVID-19. You're like, what the fuck? When John teaches people, another guy made 2.2 million and fucked me over and stabbed me in the back viciously. Another guy made like over $100,000. The Middle Eastern guy, the tall guy, 6'2", the guy who works with RSD to host the events, but he got no results with RSD. Another student, the guy Elite 30, the Indian guy, he makes 50,000 or 60,000 a year Canadian, but he was going to get fired from his job in sales, and I taught him twice. So a lot of these things I'm teaching you, this works like gangbusters in sales. Not even Jordan Belfort knows this stuff. I'm not teaching you every algorithm, but I'm giving you a gold bar here. So you can use this gold bar as a generator for fucking, dealing objections. This is what I do in Daygame. The girls are saying, I can't come on over, right? I'm kind of tired. I use WhatsApp. I press the button. I acknowledge you're tired, and I start looping it. And I can't give you all the algorithms, but I loop it over and over. And I keep saying I acknowledge, and the women, for some unknown fucking reason, ignores the statements of empathy. Now John's getting technical. Like, this is the kind of stuff I would teach my students. I am not a text game for online teacher. And Daygame text game is different than online. Daygame, you have to be wittier. There is no pictures. There is no profile. And I've been finding a lot of bullshit about them because when I taught my students Instagram secrets and they use it, it is the opposite of playing with fire or playing with dicks. Is do the exact opposite. The Asian student got 60 lays, not 50. 50 ain't shit. Neither it says, oh, I got 45, whatever, like, autistic fucking face. Oh, I got 45, whatever test. No, 45 versus 60. And that's a white motherfucker. He's like, oh, but he's lost his virginity and he's white. Well, he's white. Fucking online, white. White fucking power, privilege. Holy shit, white people can be in a fucking wheelchair and still get a hot Asian girlfriend. I'll show you a picture like I did last time. I think I showed you guys last time. But that's white privilege for you. It's real. And Todd Valentine's, let's make, you don't have any. So many fucking theories. And that's why I found out. The more you talk about COVID-19 and the objections too early, the women ghost you. That's why I've been field testing with this student, a black student with the lowest SMB, lower than Asians. The women ghost him completely when you bring up the objection. So why not bring up later in the video chat? You need the right tonalities, you need the right training, and maybe I should make a course called High Income Skills so people can make some money a little bit on the side. Yeah, I should make a course for teaching copywriting, sales skills, which made $2.2 million after I got fucked over from the other student. He closed 4 deals 5 times. The 5th time, he was just being retarded, his own shit. But he had a 90% close rate eventually. Like, when you look at it, he would close everything. I have a 90% close rate on sales. And you're like, I don't always do hard sales. If a student's delusional, I do it, but very rarely. It's always soft. If you saw me, you buy a product, I'm a very nice person. I don't have to use these tactics. I don't want to manipulate people. Let's see what you're saying. Thanks, John. There's so much evidence, it's impossible to deny these truths. There's so much evidence. I mean, it's like if you took every single online dating chart, white people are always on top. Asians and black people or black women are always dead last. Indian sometimes lower. it's just fucking hard to deny. So what would I suggest maybe for people to test out? I would suggest putting them through a funnel too, of course. When you use a funnel, you don't have as much game because they think it was compliance here, not compliance. Well, first of all, what I have found out from teaching a black student was they might have a stupid profile. So white people have this profile. They're like, dot this, you know, good at sex or some fucking like 50 Shades of Grey shit. The problem with this list is almost like a copyright. This is like a features and benefits. This is the benefits. That's great. But I actually wrote some interesting shit for the black student here. I talked about if COVID-19 is getting you down and you're lonely, I was using my copywriting skills. And then blah, 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 swipe right, say hi. I had this algorithm. I'm not going to teach it to you guys. It belongs to the student who learned from me. His matches, rather than these stupid lines of dots of white privilege up the ass shit, he actually had a sales letter here from me. And what happens was his match gone from very little to extremely high. So it's like he had been matching almost like 2 a day at most and 2 replies. He just couldn't stop getting replies after I fixed this. So we're saying this is now the control. The control versus variation. So how does funnels work? Control, I'm going to teach you all the secrets. Control means this is the one that's been working the best. And variation is the one that is new, the test. The field test, the split test. The split test, not field test. Field test is testing on your white fucking SMV, your height. Split test is the variation. A lot of you, this is what we call AB, whatever, AB split test. And you heard this before. This is some real shit here, guys. This is exactly what they're doing. But the problem is that when they're testing, like, oh yeah, my other advanced level, white, fucking tall, privilege up the asshole, fucking white trash, fucking, you know, so-called advanced coach working for the same fucking company, which is trash, by the way. All of this is trash. It's just, you know, getting more results, and they're just like, oh, that's not split testing. That is field testing. Field testing on white people and reconfirming. There is no split testing. If you want to split test on a black student who is short or has no SMV. Split test on a motherfucking black student who's short with no SMV. And here's another thing I found out, which is fucking strange about online dating, okay? Because for white people, it doesn't matter, but there's a golden ratio. There is a formula, okay? So for the face, wherever the dots are, there's a golden ratio. I'm 82%. Brad Ass Kiss is 70%. So he gets nothing but 7 out of 10s. And some of the other women, you don't realize in my infields, okay? Some of the other women are actually higher than this 8.5. Do you know that 2-girl infields? The other one's still a teenage girl, by the way. She is fucking way prettier. She's around like past the 9 mark. There's another blonde chick in Europe. She's like, you know, my old roommate said she was 10. A few people said 10. Or some people said 9.5, 9.4. So that's without makeup. So the thing is that the golden ratio, because mine's 82%, that's what, when you change the golden ratio, because the black student golden ratio was around 50%. So no matter what, he will just get 5 out of 10s matching him. So his nose is a little bit higher up here, okay? And his mouth is a little bit lower. So on Photoshop, I basically raised or lower his nose on Photoshop here, and I raised his mouth a little bit. And you know what happened when the golden ratio changed? Because I was talking with another Indian guy about, we looked up his golden ratio. It was exactly 50%. So he's wondering, why is he not getting that kind of traffic? And it's very, very simple. Because there are 3 types of traffics. I'm teaching all about this funnel shit, okay? Hot traffic, warm, and then cold. Hot, warm, and cold. So the black guy was getting cold traffic that barely converts, barely warm. They're just the same race, black women. Whenever he changed his golden ratio and moved the face around, the dots, the algorithms, it's all science, the algorithms. Because you think, whoa, this dating coach, right? He's ugly, he's getting like attractive women. Guess what? Guess what? The arrow concept. This is what people don't want to know. Because the tip of the spear is the golden ratio. Golden ratio, okay? How long the arrow is your height. So the taller you are, the bigger advantage you have. The race is the color, or the material of the arrow. So if it's metal, you're white, or aluminum, it's stronger. Asian's a very brittle fucking arrow. And how wide your shoulders is and how much protective status is how good the arrow is. And if you're too fat, the arrow does not fly. Does that make sense? Like if you're short, the arrow is cut in half, like an Asian. You see that? Asian arrow. Brittle. So the golden ratio is very important because that's the tip of the spear. There are guys I know that looks like male models, but their golden ratio is like 40-something%, and they're wondering why they're struggling with women. Socio-prime's golden ratio is like 45%, or that's why he gets women around that. Mark, you only get from your golden ratio the kind of women that are within your golden ratio. So with arrow theory, this is why they need more volume, because the golden ratio of self-proclaimed high lay count guy, right? Those were these analogies. It's not an analogy, dumb fuck. This is like the truth. This is something that's repeatable. And I'm going to show you it's repeatable. When I show you that does height matter, I'm going to show you all the students and see how fast they closed. And I guarantee you, you're going to actually see the height is faster. Just like last time, I showed you that white people, black people, Latino people, and Middle Eastern people gets girlfriends way faster. They get girlfriends way faster. Oh, fuck you. Who are you, fucking Bezos? Fuck off my channel. Put user. I don't have time for these stupid fucking idiots. Because these value deniers. Fuck you. It's not censorship. It's more like fuck you ship. Go fuck yourself. I don't have time for stupid fucking theories. All right. So now let's talk about the truth that nobody wants to hear. Let's ignore this distraction for a second. Let's just speak the truth. As I show you all the students, you'll see their looks theory or looks scale, and you'll see their height. So what happens is for seeking arrangements, self-proclaimed high lay counts guy, because his golden ratio is super low. That's why you need like fucking seeking arrangements. So the golden ratio, his one's like 50, it's around like maybe 58% or so. It's really low. So this is why they're seeking arrangements when it's low. Justin Wayne does the same shit. Justin Wayne's golden ratio right now with the weight loss is 64%. It was 62 when he was fat. So therefore, he needed a little bit of money game to get over the line. He was a Negro, so his arrow was darker. And it was heavier wood or a cheaper metal than the Asians. However, because of his low golden ratio, he doesn't do online as much. And he was chubby, but doesn't matter. The arrow is not a great flight. Hope that makes sense. So if you are chubby, it'll work against you. You want to keep the arrow lean right here. You want to keep it lean. Lean and mean. And this will penetrate. So this is why they say use volume. The reason why they use volume is because self-proclaimed high lace count guy, because he has such a low golden ratio. But a lot of warm traffic for the height and everything. That's why white people need to throw volume. If you're better looking, you don't need as much volume to close. That means his other instructor, who's better looking, maybe more symmetrical face, he needs less to close. Not that I'm impressed or anything with his 1980s hairstyle. Not that impressed. 1980s is over, dude. Having said that, this theory explains all the dating coaches. So if you look at Brad Ass Kiss with a 70% golden ratio, I met him in real life. He's just like talking about Tinder and shit. So for him, he's a longer arrow. He's white. It penetrates better. And you say he's ugly, his hair is thinning. No, it's a 70% arrow. He gets 70%. The women you get are all related to this arrow. It's just how often is how strong your arrow is. The looks are only the tip. Looks theory is flawed theory because that's just the tip. So for the Asians who are skinny as fuck, fucking work out. Widen your motherfucking shoulders. I'm trying to widen my shoulders a little bit more than before. I'm not saying it's huge or nothing, but I'm trying to increase the width of it So that just makes it more efficient and less game. Hope that makes sense. Because if you're a tall, lanky arrow and you're good looking, but your golden ratio is like 45%, like some of these people I know, and therefore their shoulders are narrow as fuck, like a girl. This is like a narrow arrow. It's not going to penetrate as easily. Therefore, they're going to go to a lot of disappointments. So changing the black students' golden ratio increased it dramatically because some motherfucker put my Pakistani mentor's face on the online, and he doesn't like that shit. However, he said that women are matching like crazy. He's not a good-looking guy. It has nothing to do with looks. You get within your golden ratio. So if you're 82, it'll go 1 point up. Will be like if you go 1 point up, it is within my range of 9.2. That means I can get a 9.2. It's just widen the shoulders. It'll be more frequent. If I was 6'2" with the same face, same body, just taller, it'll be easy as fuck. It'll be no game. Luckily, I'm not super tall. Arrow is shorter. Hope that makes sense. So if you're within like 6 point, I saw a guy, this Asian guy, who's considered short and ugly, or unattractive, or average. But I look at his golden ratio, it was 68%. So he can get a 7.8. Now you've realized for online dating, the arrow equals the volume equals the amount of matches you'll get. Therefore, how wide this is, all these things matter. And they talk about good pictures. They talk about just looking at the corner like this and trying to be cool. It's kind of funny, don't pose. But the student with 60 lays online, now he has 2 fuck buddies because COVID-19, he's not doing Tinder as much. For him, he was posing every motherfucking picture. Oh, don't put other women in your picture. Every fucking picture or second picture has it. I can't tell you the entire algorithm, but he followed it to a T because on that boot camp, I taught him all this shit. On the boot camp, I said, this is the algorithm. I expected him to be a day gamer. I didn't expect him to be a fucking online gamer. I didn't. I really didn't fucking expect that. I was trying to teach him day game. He got one closed night game, and after I taught him how to close in the bedroom without alcohol using fire style, which is only taught in the inner circle. There's fire, water, earth, wind, void. And Justin wins water, right? It's like high five, a lot of beta and touching, right? This is what you call like try to interrupt my fucking infield, trying to take credit. Fucking Justin Wing, fucking Justin Stanley. Oh yeah, because you touch a lot, right? Like fucking beta, that's what water, because water can flow or water can crash. Be water, my friend. Like Bruce Lee said, you know, like I'm saying. So that's the beta style of water. So each of the elements can change your personality for day game. So now it's just us. This is too advanced for you guys. What I'm saying right now is how my brain works. My brain is so advanced that you may not get this. But the point is hot traffic, warm and cold. If you have the height, you have the race, and you have the golden ratio, you'll get hot traffic. So within your hot traffic, if you're 82%, women around there will be your hot traffic if your arrow is complete. However, when you're 5 out of 10, and this happened to some of the students, no matter what they try to swipe with online, anytime they get a 6 out of 10, they're getting a warm traffic. Warm is not as hot. The women are not into them. That means it's not about the text game, it's about the volume. And then when they go for 7 out of 10, it becomes cold traffic. Does that make sense? So hot, warm, and cold. Cold traffic are not receptive to you. Warm is like a little bit more. So the whole thing is an algorithm in the race. There is a race hierarchy that I have shown you guys. This is not a goddamn theory. I mean, seriously. These guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. These guys with a bearded chin that's so hairy, saying just is a little bit about grooming. They don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know what the fuck they're talking. This is like, I just hope you motherfuckers are joking. Because if you fucking Asians listen to this, you're gonna be choking. Because that's all you be doing when you're not even matching. And you're just reacting and you're just worshiping these white dating coaches. You don't know shit. Sorry, I just got back into a flow. In slow-mo, my brain is like Neo. I could do this all day. So what the fuck do you know? You know? I'm gonna give you like a fucking big blow to the ribs. That's the way I'm saying this. This is like a diss track. So what the fuck? This is ludicrous. You speak with your lips. Go for trannies all day. What the fuck is this? Is that even game? Fuck. This is fucking lame. Everything's the same. White people just have so much value. All right, let's continue. I don't know. I'm stuck in flip mode. Squad, the mind. Fucking. Let's continue this. Like fishing up fish is like for them. It's easy to catch the cod. It becomes easy. All right. Sorry. Sometimes I get into like freestyle mode. Sometimes I get freestyle mode. I swear I'm not black, or that yellow M&M. But now you can kind of see how this online thing works. Why should people reward themselves by being white when they're automatic testimonial with warm traffic and hot traffic versus a lower person on the scale? There's a hierarchy, and it's a scientific data. Why should the ones who are higher, let's ignore looks, because volume can overcome looks if you're white. If we took away online dating, I guarantee all these white gurus online talking about red pill shit, almost all of their fucking lays are from online dating. We can't reward these people that are skillless. Night game, sure, but if all the students are white, it's, come on, even Night game, even ABC of Attraction and Queef and Casanova can do it without social skills. At least that's somewhat, at least it's something. But when you are bragging about online fucking testimonials, that's nothing. And then when you look up here in Daygame, how many fucking clothes infields have you seen from him in Daygame? Besides walking up to a cab and it cuts off and it's like, oh, whoa, we're gonna run towards the cab. Whoa. And it ends there. Same day later. What the fuck? That's even worse than Todd Valentine. At least Todd Valentine gets in the cab and calls it a same day late. Fucking how many Daygame fucking testimonials is there with skills? Zero. At least Brad Ass Kiss has one. One is better than zero. So when you talk about Daygame as a lead generator, so before we talk about getting her into this funnel, so this is what they call the leads. That's what they call it, leads. A lead is basically like an email list. You know, I have an email list that brings leads. My blog brings leads. These are different platforms. Other things like YouTube brings leads, and then you see where the leads go into. This is what they call a lead generator. This is why white people love volume, because they love using their SMB, and they want to bring the leads because they have this mental disease. They have this delusional. They're like, oh, great. Women, come here, please. And they're going to walk through the door like a restaurant. It's easier than the other Asians. They don't give a fuck. That's not even game. But somehow in their mind, they're deluded. Their whole mind is polluted. Their whole game is not transferable. And you got all these sheeps like sucking, worshipping, you know, completely. All right, let's continue. So it goes down to leads. And then for white people, they have more leads than someone like an Asian. So before you think about volume, you should think about conversions, or you should think about calibrations before volume. This is why they can't do Daygame, because compliance, non-compliance, you can't just put women through that because it's real time. It's real time. They're not down to fuck. Most women are code traffic in Daygame. Code. There is hardly any warm traffic unless the guy is really good looking. He might get a warm or cold traffic, which will flake on him, and 11% comes out. That's the stats among all white people because they suck. Paul Janka, all these motherfuckers, 11 motherfucking percent. It's all a game of stats. There is no theories behind this. Golden ratio, arrow theory. You guys laugh about arrow theory now, but what if I show you all the students who are like tall and all the students within a certain race? What if they close faster than the other people who gets warm traffic and it takes a little bit longer for the shorter students? What then? When I show you all the screenshots, exactly all their heights written out, and you'd be like, John's right again. This is always science. And a lot of people are upset because they want to get a girlfriend without putting any work into spam project. You got to build up your value, dude. You got to build up your value. You can't just be Mr. Fuckboy. You got to be husband material. If you're not husband material, or you don't have good social skills, even in the friend zone, social circle zone, because you got to think to yourself, for the Asians, if she has a lot of friends and she's standing next to you in Vancouver, which are anti-Asian men, will she be embarrassed by showing you in front of her friends? Or will she be like very accepting because you're tall, you have a good job, and you know you're decent looking? You gotta think about that for a second. But you can fit into the fuck boyfriend. That's all I'm saying. And that makes it easier because that's a loophole. Because she could fuck the guy on the side and keep the other guy on the down low. And then she can start to, like, you know, use him for the money, but doesn't make you a simp. It just makes you smart. Because guys who use the word simp are dumb as Homer Simpson. Fuck it. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why I'm kind of stop freestyling. I'm stuck in this mode of thinking. Who the fuck can do this in real time then? What kind of brain do I have? Einstein? That's really like bad because I'm 175 IQ. He's only 160. That's kind of funny. But it's kind of crude. Like oil. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's continue. Okay, so their plan is foiled. They don't even know what the fuck they're saying anymore. It's unimpressive. No one gives a shit about online testimonials. Fuck that. You want to call my game trash? Your game's trash. White trash. Now let's take out the trash. That's all I want to say. Let's see if there's anything else. My blog post. Hope you learned something today. Please, no more flows low. Okay. I'm not going to teach you that routine to grow your shoulders yet. This is only for bootcamp students. But it grows really quickly, very quickly. So, let's see what else. I'm just looking over a post, so at least I have something to start with. Oh, yeah. They also talk about it's a game of poker. They talk about it's a poker. So if it was a game, right, it's a poker. How come other companies like Lux Life or Cuck's Life cannot get more than one testimonial if it's really poker? Because some people, for poker, they have more chips, and they're playing against easier opponents like white privilege. And then when you're Asian, you're playing like with less chips, less forgiveness, and then you're playing against harder opponents. Nobody wants to talk about this, especially when you talk about Daygame, when they're not down to fuck, when they're co-traffic. Holy shit. Now you're seeing through the matrix. What about some tall Australian guy? Blah, blah. Exactly. So it's not really a game of poker because they say, oh, it's a game of skill. John, do you think Asians should use ode? What do you mean ode? If it's really a game of poker, so they're talking about sales skills, but Johnny Elite student can close 2.2 million. So let's talk about sales skills because John knows more about sales than this guy. John's born in a family of salesmen. My brother is first place in 3 companies for sales. He beaten all the guys with funnels, all the guys with machines. He's a natural salesman. My mother was #1. She was an esthetician for the Bay. And the sociopath, because she was in first place, they all attacked her and she mentally had a breakdown and went sociopathic as shit and went delusional and all fucked up, comorbidity expressed. However, saying that, I'm also have a 90% close rate when it comes to sales. If I get you over the phone, it's game over. I'm not trying to make this like a bad thing, but it's a win-win. That's the way I see it. It's a win-win. But for sales, they might be talking about, well, this is what they're not telling you. They say it's a game of sales, and I'm going to debunk this bullshit. So let's see, this is sales, okay? This is called value, VALUE. So this is the value of the product. Does that make sense? And this is the line of fuckability up here, okay? The line up here. The problem is that when you start with a lower value, like Asian, you're going to be like trying to do sales like here. You see that? You're not going to get over that line. However, if you were like a tall black and Neanderthal gene, which is better for Daygame, you start up here. Enough emotions will get you over that line. If that makes sense. If you're a white guy, the problem is that if the game is broken up into social skills, social calibrations, white people, that's why they suck at Daygame. because they can barely get over that line, but they get close to the line all the time. And once in a while they get it. Once in a while they get it a few times. Because they don't have any social skills, social calibrations, emotional intelligence. They're just trying to do direct. So therefore, it's just like directly going for the close. It's a stupid fucking tactic. Do it gradually. So for white people, it's just like, yeah, that's why they suck, because they don't touch, they don't flirt, they don't tease. They don't actually have these pieces in their game. They're trying to be natural. They're trying to be James Bond, no expressions. And you guys are copying it because you're just looking at positive reactions from women. Because you're autistic. You look at the women, right? You don't see the stress in her fucking eyes, right? Her stress is like, oh my God, why is this? She's giving a fake smile. Why is this autistic fucking person talking to me, right? Right? It's her hair. You don't see that. All you see is this. You just see a smiley face because you're autistic. That's why you look at these fucking phone number close videos and you just think it's just a smiley face. That's a problem. Your perception is wrong. You're deluded and you cannot think. So basically, white people have more value. So this may be harder to get over the line in Daygame here. But when you look at night game, the line of fuckability is much lower because she's more down to fuck. So for white people, they can get over this line eventually with enough volume. But you're like, well, okay, that's great. But now that set the bar so fucking low. So fucking low. Right here, online dating. For them, it's easier to get matches and they feel like they're getting results and they're not getting any results. They're not. They just have more value than the line. It's not a sales skills. Because a person with lower value, like an Asian, for some people, they can be swiping right for 2 weeks in a row and not get a single fucking response. Even if you look like a male model and you're Asian, that's what one said. And then you call Kevin Kreider. Kevin Kreider has been trying for 2 weeks and he couldn't even get one fucking match. He's a professional model. So you're thinking to yourself, is race matters? But of course, for my other Asian student, pictures matter because it brings value. In the algorithms, it's all a science. It's all a science. So it's not just a random Asian guy with muscles. That's not enough value because there's no social value. And there's a lot of things I cannot talk about. Hope that makes sense. Hope this is starting to all make sense now. I'm debunking this bullshit that they think they're getting testimonials. If you take away Tinder, the whole white system is like a deck of cards. It'll collapse. The white system will collapse. You have no testimonials. The results will be cut. The results will be cut by 70% because white people depends on it just as much as day gamers in Vancouver depends on Asian women. It's a loophole. That's all it is, a loophole. And I hope that your mind grows. You stop being like fucking done with an afro. That you actually listen to what the fuck I'm saying when I'm giving the flow. Okay. Because your brain and your intelligence is at zero. You're like sheeps. Sorry, breaking the flow. Online dating, sorry. Do you think that Asians should use online dating? Yes, but not that. Don't depend on it. Only my student has been ever that successful with 60 lays. Even if you're good looking, you're Asian, it can change from every single season. So in the summertime, what worked before, I used to have a friend in Toronto, Asian guy, my cousin. What worked for him before may not work the next year. Hope that makes sense. So it really changes. The big idea changes, like copyright. The big idea changes. It really depends. But however, he never understood the other guy's algorithms because I never taught him it. So it's not just good looks, it's not just height, because you can go like swiping for weeks and nothing will happen. No fucking, they might talk to you here and there. So this is why other systems are better for Asians, like Daygame. Even night game, day game, whatever. But the people who do night game could barely do it day game unless they're in Las Vegas and it's easier for Asian men. And they numbers game it. But in a place like Vancouver, it is the pickiest place. Toronto, according to statistics, and I can show you the statistics long ago, maybe like early, maybe 2010 statistics. I'm not sure about new ones, but back then, Vancouver women were the pickiest of all of the online dating. I'm not sure 2010, 2000, whatever it started. But back then, the statistics when I saw it was like that. 2000, No, I mean like 2013, 2000. I don't know what statistic, but way back then, Toronto is the easiest place for online dating. Vancouver is the opposite, is the most pickiest. Should you use online dating? Not as the first source. Focus on Daygame. Night game is closing the loop because after COVID-19, JT Tran's not able to get testimonials as easily as before. That's something to keep in mind. Asians been using night game as a loophole, but however, day game, there's a different value system. I would say for Asian men, if you want a girlfriend in day game, the problem is that Asian men want to make some more money. A lot of these guys have good jobs. They make $200,000, $150,000 a year, and they think that's enough to get women. But looks, money, status, money's only out of 5. You gotta work on the lifestyle, the husband material. You also gotta work on the looks. You gotta lose the weight. You gotta get the haircut. You gotta get the fashion. Fashion equals framing. Should use online maybe as a lead generator, but however, don't expect nothing but discomfort, because Asians and even blacks, at least black women, according to the stats, they respond to men. They're just happy to get a response. They have the highest response as black women of all races. This is all as stats. This is all a science. There is no theories behind anything I'm teaching. And the Asians are getting upset because they just like came to day game saying, I'm gonna get a girlfriend. Well, the tall students will get a girlfriend faster. If you're tall, wide shoulders, or good looking, you gotta pick one of the 3. You're either tall, pretty boy like me, or tall, good looking, or wide shoulders. You pick one. You have to maximize one of the stats. Otherwise, it's gonna work against you. Hope that makes sense. And for guys who are not good looking, guys who are not tall, and guys who do not have wide shoulders, I want to say, what the fuck are you doing? Go kill yourself, metaphorically speaking. What the fuck? John, you don't recommend spam approaching. What do you spend the time to get better? There's no such thing as spam approaching. I can close in the very first approach all the fucking time. I rarely get rejected. I do this in front of bootcamp students. Look at it. So what I recommend instead, is this is a game, is to keep her on the line. This is the big secret. So white people have no calibrations. So what keeps her on the line? So how do you close in the very first approach? L, M, S, in plus game, right? Instead of game, we just put social calibrations, social skills, emotional intelligence, and game. Okay, so we can break this down into 1/4. It's not accurate because social skills is like bigger than 1/4, but let's just say break into 1/4. Looks is out of 10. So for Asians, you want to increase your air row. That means if you're short, you want to use heel lifts, but heel lifts can only give you 1.5 inches. Even at 5'7", that's 5'8.5". That's below the national average. You want elevator shoes. Okay, you want elevator shoes because elevator shoes gives you more height. Hope that makes sense. And it's built into the sole right here. The heel lifts are built right into the sole. And of course, I'm not going to tell you which one to use that is the most optimal. That's only for my bootcamp students. Maybe if you watch enough of my bootcamp clips, you're going to see all the bootcamp students all use one shoe. So John's got this down to a science. All one shoe, one color, one shoe. There's no other shoe. John's figured this out down to a science. Everything's down to a science. And for money, you want to wear a Rolex. A Rolex. And if you have lower value, golden rule. I shouldn't teach you this stuff. It's top secret. Too many gold bars. That's all I'm going to say. Zip my mouth. But even having a homage, like a Rolex, okay, it's going to make a big difference. See how this looks like. Because women recognize what a Rolex is. Does that make sense? They recognize the Rolex watch. So that's what you want to focus on. Money, and also that's why my students wear blazers. All things are fucking science. Because I'm not going after cold traffic or warm traffic. I'm going after hot traffic, and this is what converts them. And people say, oh, he's got to be grooming with an autistic face, like he's tall, fucking, self-proclaimed lay counts guy. Oh, just fucking, just fucking use your height and just groom and just fucking SMV, cold traffic volume. There's no such thing as volume. Now you already maximize this because your height is higher, and it's the golden ratio. You cannot change the golden ratio, but you can change the stereotype. Fashion is framing. Like I said, you can be the fuckboy, the boyfriend, girlfriend, which very few people fit in. This is what the Asians don't understand because they think, I'm going to use romance to fit into the boyfriend zone. A woman's going to have about 10 or 11 boyfriends throughout her life. By the time she's 30, she's going to marry one of the guys. Does that make sense? She's going to marry one of the guys and cheat on the side a little bit, or he cheats on her. That's what's going to happen. She's going to get old. She's going to be a single mother. He's going to leave her. And then she's going to try to, go for other guys around when she's in her 30s. That's women's life. Within the 10 guys, Asian guys, how many of you think you can fit in that frame as a boyfriend? If you're not tall, you're not wide shoulders, and you're not good looking, you're not 1 in 3. How many of you think you can fit into that 1 in 10? She's only going to pick 10 people. The first guy she's going to bang, the first boyfriend, is going to be 5'4", 5'5", fucking Latino or some, different race, not their race, or white guy, or Asian. The first one, because she's experimenting. That's all she can get in her social circle in high school. Afterwards, she's gonna go for guys who are 6'2" every single time. 6'4", 6'3", 5'11". It's gonna be all fucking tall. Every single one of them as boyfriend. You're like, what the fuck? Unless the guy is Asian, he's in her social circle, and she doesn't have a big fucking social circle, which is the third frame, which is the friend zone, fucking friend zone social circle that you dismiss blue pill. Because blue pill people have girlfriends because they got social skills. Of course, you might be saying, well, I got fucking social skills. It's just to keep her on the line. I use the romantic sexual bullshit. Bull fucking shit. That's just, this could be a tall, white, black, or Latino or Middle Eastern game. Just enough emotions. Just being her type does not mean it's game. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You can't just be her type and then expect it. That's not skill. So for you, you're not going to fit in with a 10 or 11 relationships. So you need to be in a different frame, which is frame number 4, which is husband material. You need to be husband material. So what's husband material? Decent job. That means you need high income skills. Decent watch. You dress whitewashed. And you're an entrepreneur, you have a decent life. Because you got to think, if she was your wife and you had a kid, in 5 years, are you able to raise it? If you're not able to, then you fit into the fuckboy frame, or you fit into the friend zone or no frame. Does that make sense? Then you got daddy daughter frame. You can use seeking arrangements. But that's what happens when people are rich, these Asians. They think, oh yeah, because they make enough money and they only got out of 5. Money's out of 5. They think that's enough. So they got like 3 or 4 out of 5. Maybe 3 or 5. That's not enough. Because even if you made $250,000 and you're standing next to a white guy, you just have the same value in her eyes. That's how women are like, according to a university professor of sociology. Therefore, you need more than that. You need arrow theory. You need to boost your height. You need to look whitewashed. You need to fit in a frame. You need to fit into the husband material frame. That's the only way out. Because think about it this way. Fast track. There's 10 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That she's going to go with. All tall, all white, or all higher SMV than her. Higher value. And you can't fit in here. But however, all women wants to get married. Eventually. Married. So if you are husband material, you can bypass and fast track your way past these frames, these 10. Now you're in a fast track to number 1. Because you're the husband material. You're willing to get married, and women are willing to get married with a guy that could provide enough that she can still raise a kid for many years. So sometimes it's not always about, there is a money component. That's why these fuckboys always say, I'm not paying for dates. Yeah, I get it. But when I'm in part of inner circle, my Pakistani mentor, the mansion that you saw me posting my YouTube lives in, it helps. It helps all the people that are part of the inner circle. Almost all of them are millionaires. They're all high value. They all have perfect social skills. They can fit in any frame. They can attack from high status, high value, because they have very cool friends. They can attack from fuckboy frame, same day lay them, or they can use that boyfriend girlfriend frame. They can use husband material. They can use all the frames. That's what you don't understand. That's what you don't understand. Does husband material work on younger girls? 100%. So legally in Canada, you can bang 16-year-olds. It used to be 14, but I digress. My ex-girlfriend was 17. Let's just say that. It's fucked up. A lot of the girls I banged, I'm not going to say what their age is, but it's legal. So you can't do anything to me because I look like younger before. Pretty boy. When you have a watch like this and you have a Versace shoes, right? Husband material. It is built into the women's nervous system, by the way. I know this sounds really fucked. It is built into the women's nervous system. So, for example, they see rappers wearing this shit. Mr. Richard Mille, right? Fucking $250,000 or $300,000 USD watch. So they see this kind of watch and they get very jealous, but that's too much value. But within Rolexes and stuff, women, when they see it, and I'm wearing my Versace, the high tops, look more streetwear like this. All of the women looks at me when I wear a leather jacket, because I live right now in an area where it's all high schools and just one college. And this is the funny thing. It is built into the evolutionary psychology system. This is why the looks arrow theory is important. When you're taller, when I use the elevator shoes around younger women, they don't respond as well as the Versace high top. I hope that makes sense in the streetwear because they see rappers wearing this. But then they see the money shit, the women are into me. So yes, women are built because it's part of their evolutionary psychology. They never went on Tinder. They never became like jaded. They never became entitled yet. They're like 18 or 17 or whatever. And they're still attracted to all this husband material. They don't know why. It's just like guys, when they're doing approach anxiety, right? You say to like a kid or something, it's like, let's say he's only 12. Go approach that girl right there. He's like, there's no problem. And his system freezes up. Because if you approach wrong women in a tribe, you no longer procreate. So people have this fear. It's just like evolutionary psychology. These younger women, when they see you have value, guess what? They're attracted. So when I'm a pretty boy, I'm dressed rich. The problem is that if I'm dressed with blazers in this area, it doesn't work as well as streetwear. Hope that makes sense. But they're into the money for sure because it's resources. It's built into their nervous system. They shit test guys. They do all this stuff. It's automatic responses. It's all algorithms. Women weighs you by your value. There is no other. This is science. There is no theory. There is no art. I know it's hard to explain. It's hard to accept. There is a race hierarchy. There's a height hierarchy. In the beginning, height doesn't matter when you're only like high school. But when you get older and she's on Tinder and she's like becomes jaded, entitled, she's only gonna go after guys who are taller than her, a lot taller. Most of the time for all the boyfriends too. Always. Height makes you a boyfriend if you're a tall, black, white, Latino, or Middle Eastern. And you can see that with my students. It's always the same fucking pattern. I can't even change it. It's a science. This is like the first time in your life you ever got some real shit that backed by numbers and science. This is not even, because red pill is a money pill. The more bullshit they tell you in red pill, they're trying to get your money because they know you have comorbidity. They know you're a sociopath, you're deluded, they know you're narcissistic, they know you're Machiavellian manipulation, they know that you are autistic, they know you're Asperger's, they know you have OCD, they know you have ADHD, they know you're delusional and you're depressed. They know all that. They know your perception is fucked. So all the dating coaches are thinking because the gates are opening. That's why they're all showing up. I've been with you before the lockdown. And I was with you during the lockdown teaching you all this stuff. I want no money, nothing in return for it. I just want to help my fellow Asians. They are showing up after the fucking lockdown. Mystery showing up, all these other dating coaches. And what they're happening is that they're walking into machine gun fire. They're thinking now this game the sheeps again. That's the problem because they have dark triad personality, right? Dark triad personality. All the dating coaches, sociopath, narcissism, and Machiavellian manipulation. So for them, they're using the Machiavellian. They never learn marketing. They never learn marketing. It's built within their system, the system of manipulation. That's how they do it. They're not gaming women, they're gaming guys. That's what they're doing. They're gaming guys. Guys like you, who are sheeps, who want to worship, give all your critical thinking away, like a sheep, because they're authority. And I'll teach you exactly how they do it step by step. There's 5 different methods. It'll be covered in the future in detail. Exactly how all the dating coaches game you, and I don't even use any manipulation. I figure if I tell people the truth, they're gonna snap out of this delusion. They're gonna snap out of this brainwashing. That's all I want to do. And it'll help the Asians because you need to see the battlefield clearly. When you see the battlefield clearly, you know how to adapt. This is where all the testimonials come from. Hope that makes sense. Careful, this watch, very expensive. So I'm gonna put it back. Low. Streetwear rapper style Rolex works better on younger girls. 100%. 100%. Because younger girls these days are completely spoiled by rap music. You see all these rappers saying Versace, Versace, blah, 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 blah. That's why I wear this Versace belt and Versace clothing and shit like that. And Rolexes. I wear all this shit on purpose because women assume that Rolex is worth more than the other watch. The other watch may look ugly. The other watch looks like a fucking McDonald's Happy Meal. This Rolex, this is not a real Rolex, but the real version is around like 50K. That watch is 350K or to 250K-ish. Does that make sense? But women think this one's more expensive because women are symbolic. They see value. The guys are thinking, well, women are into looks. They're looks theory, right? They're fucking bone angles and looks theory. Women are not the same as men. They don't see visually. They see algorithms. They see value. They see survival replication. They see nothing but algorithm and science. They see ones and zeros and value. You're like, that's why ugly people that you think are like really ugly and they're getting hot women, they're getting women exactly on their golden ratio. So you should put their algorithm, their face into the machine. You're gonna see them match all the women they get. So you're saying, John, all the women you get is pre-select, like predetermined by 1 point. That means you can only go 1 point up. That's right. All of us dating coaches, we're just getting exactly what our golden ratio is. It's all been a lie. They try and make it seem like it's game. It's just how much action do you take, how much cold traffic, warm traffic, or hot you have to go through, and based on your overall value, how much you're gonna close. It's all kind of predetermined. All these theories are bullshit. They're just trying to make money off you. Inner Circle does not know I can make this, have a job as Daygame for a living. I'm just telling you guys the truth so you guys can wake up and snap out of this. I know it's like not easy to hear. John, doesn't it it look like you have the golden ratio though? Wide shoulders shape. Why do you still get great results? My golden ratio is like super high. According to the machine, if you look at it, my golden ratio is actually 82%. Everything is, the highest golden ratio for men is around Brad Pitt and stuff. But I'm just like, so if I were taller and stuff, it'll drive the arrow further. You might say, well, then you have less game, John. Well, the golden ratio helps. Girls, when they look at you during the golden ratio, think about it this way. Okay, it's because of outside concepts. Oh, sorry, golden ratio and your V shape, wide shoulder. Yeah, my shoulders could be wider, but I fit into a positive stereotype. I hope that makes sense. I'm what they call the pretty boy type because of K-pop. Before K-pop, right, it was hard. I started game 18 years ago. Before K-pop showed up, it was Psy from Gangnam Style. Daygame has been nothing but a kick in the nuts for me. Hope that makes sense. So until Psy show up, and then people start looking at all these pretty boy Koreans and stuff, you know, handsome Koreans with jawline reduction surgery, then that's when everything just started working late. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's unfair, but the stereotype can determine if you're a positive or negative stereotype. So that's how we create the whole pretty boy Asian. If you are a pretty boy Asian, you will probably have like a girlfriend or maybe like a girl that you're dating who's gonna be like a really pretty Ukrainian or Eastern Europe. You've seen that before all the time. She's like into Asians or something. She listens to K-pop and watches maybe a little bit anime. And she sees an Asian guy and she just goes head over heels over that. So hope that makes sense. That's how I'm attacking the game from that angle. The pretty boy type. So you don't need the widest shoulders because I got students that have like 2 fuck buddies for 1 year. They're both models. One Vietnamese guy in London. So for me, yeah, I would say for me, it's not so much about the arrow. It is the high golden ratio, but it is the skill behind it of how you pull the arrow. That's what all the social skills, all that shit. Boom. And I don't go for volume. I just go for one. I close it. I take a break for a while. Go for another one. Go for another one. I don't shoot a lot of arrows. Hope that makes sense. It's not like I just shoot 30 arrows and one goes through. I rarely, it's just like in the boot camps, they just sort of like first one, boom, like that. That's how I'm like. And I'm teaching you how to get that arrow right through in the first try. Very simple. You gotta realize the algorithm. For me personally, I'm dressed in such a way that's a positive stereotype, like a positive stereotype with the blazers and everything. Women respond to you, so I don't face like fucking, cold traffic. I'm just telling you, because my fashion is so calibrated. Ones and zeros are coming out of the watches because of the value. You see what I mean? So the watch is like 1010. It's like a lockpick. It's opening her legs. You walk by, you see a Rolex. Her legs, now she's gone from warm traffic into more warm hot. Does that make sense? Sees the blazer, sees the height, then it goes to hot traffic. That means for me, I know how to break her resistance without actually saying a word. Based on the body language, the vibe, the fashion. This is where fashion is framing. That's why I keep saying. People keep dismissing the fashion. When I talk about the fashion, what I'm saying is when you're dressed like a positive stereotype, every race has a positive and negative stereotype. So for white people, negative stereotype, dressing like an RSD victim, hoodies, all that shit, all rejected. Like a positive stereotype, you dress like a preppy person with chinos and you're just like rich, pompadour, London model. For a black person, you're either dressed with baggy fucking clothing like the hood, or you're dressed like a well-dressed, well-spoken black person with Rolexes like my student who's in army, with blazers, Zara clothing, right? Fresh clothing, not too much streetwear, formal. Clothes like crazy. Clothes like crazy. Latinos, you can be either that, hey, cabron, right? Fucking essay, right? You can be like a fucking little fucking cholo. Or you can be like somebody more of a whitewashed person. Hope that makes sense. Every race has a negative and positive stereotype. That's why Asian men can fit into the K-pop. If you cannot fit in the K-pop, you can be the tall kind of guy, the tall kind of Korean model or a Korean actor. Because Koreans are positive stereotype now. Before, back in my day, Japanese used to be more of a positive stereotype. That's before K-pop. They had this J-rock, this messy hair. This is why every algorithm is special, because my hair is not separated. They work at one unit. I should not be teaching you this, Golden Nuggets. Give it a thumbs up if you guys are getting it. I should not be talking about this stuff. Asian men have messy hair. You see the hairs everywhere, like Bart Simpson. For me, when they're together, you fit into a tribe. So for me, how I get over the white woman's resistance is because the way I'm speaking is so white, the way I'm dressing is so white. I'm born with the SMV, so this is for status, natural status, race out of 10. I can raise a little bit of the status through the way I'm dressing, so I no longer look like a typical negative stereotype Asian. Making sense now? So everything is breaking her resistance. It's almost like you can win the battle before you even fight them. But nobody talks about this shit because nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. It's just more of that, you gotta take massive action. Massive action to what? A lot of these Asian guys, they can take massive action. They'll always close a woman who's like 4 out of 10. Even if there's a white girl or Latina or maybe a Indian, but she's like 4 out of 10 and they feel proud. I'll never feel proud fucking a 4.5 out of 10. I will never be proud. I'll never feel good about it. Hope that makes sense. So for me, I don't believe in volume. I don't believe in I believe having a good tip of the arrow. And while I may not have the widest shoulders, I still fit in the positive stereotype. So you gotta pick your attributions. So for Asian men, you want to be the pretty boy type, right? Pretty boy. Okay? Or number 2, you want to be the tall. You saw that guy, the tall guy, the Vietnamese guy, he got 2 same-day lace. I made him widen his shoulders. So if you're not really that good looking, you can be tall. Maybe you're tall and decent looking. Maybe for him, he wasn't decent looking. He was stronger. So there are some Filipino guys who are really, really short. They're like 5'7"-ish or 5'8", 5'9", very short, but they can widen their body dramatically. Wide as a ninja fucking turtle. When you're that wide and you have that much bulk, then that can compensate. But what happens when you're in the middle? You're not a pretty boy, even though you may not see that. Okay, for me, this is what you don't see because you're thinking John's not that good looking. He's only like whatever. But when a woman looks at you, how long do you think it takes for you to build up your socials? I would say you probably should approach a lot of people just to talk with them. I know COVID-19 is hard, but you should try to talk to at least 10 people a day. 10 times 30 days is 300 improvement of social skills. 300 times 12, 24, 36 is, I don't know, it's not, like a lot of approaches. Let's just say that. When you get there, that your social skills go up. That social skills is what helps you fit into the blue pill and infiltrate all the other tribes. Hope that makes sense. I only see 4 likes. So you guys are, this is too advanced for you guys. John's talking like a game from like 150 years from now. But that's what I would do. I'll talk to everyone for a whole year. By that year goes by, you have that much skills. Well, that's great advice. Exactly. Just do the math. Everything's a math and everything's a science. Within a certain amount of time, you become like, and you should practice with the show Friends. And I remember an Indian was saying, oh, I've been talking to my Indian whatever naturals. And they don't believe it's friends because it's exaggerated. But you listen to all white women talk. White women are very exaggerated when they talk. They're just autistic. They can't see it. India, all of them are autistic, snowflake, depressed cunts with sociopathic eyes and delusions. These naturals, and I show my Pakistani mentor, and I show him the women. I said, don't show this 2 pictures to anyone. And the woman was like a fucking 9 out of 10, and she's tall. And he's like, and I showed another one. It's like, and he's like, oh shit, now he's fucking listening. You see, India is a giant fucking toilet there. It's a giant toilet. These naturals that think they're good, they're just getting women there like shit. They're just floating around in shit. They're just killing roughly a little bit of the corner shit. Most of the women there, not that attractive. I show them without the makeup how they look like. And I used to date like Indian women too. So I know this shit. I actually dated Indian women and they're pretty hot. She was like still in high school. And she was into yoga. And she's taller than me now. She's very hot. She's very fucking hot. Most of you be like, what the fuck, man? Holy shit. But yeah, I tried like, you know, the rainbow. I wanted to see what I like and what I didn't like. So eventually she was settled with a Indian guy. He wasn't that good looking, but she was like, oh yeah, he's husband material. It's like, yeah, whatever. John, do you think most Asians can reach looks threshold? It's not about looks, you dumb fucking idiot. Okay. If Asian men, right now after COVID-19, their value is 0 out of 10. And they have to get 20 out of 35. 20 out of 35. So if there's 0, they have to now figure out how to get the score in the other areas. So if they boost their height, they fix their fashion, they might be 6.5 or 7. So now it's like maybe 6.5 here. They have to wear the Rolexes, they have to wear nicer clothing. Right? 6.5 or maybe 7. Let's say you're around 7. Let's be nice. Let's say this guy's not too short, not too tall. 7. And now you're going to add some money. So 7 plus 4, maybe you dress super rich. 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Then you need Instagram to raise the value. So 0 becomes like 3 or maybe 2. 11 plus 2 is 13. So the Asian men, for all these categories, 25, 25, 25%, social skills, social calibrations, emotional intelligence, and game. So 11, 13 or something, they need a 7 here. Their game needs to be 7. That's why I told the students for social skills, right? It's all a science. Social calibrations, emotional intelligence, and game. Elite 30 from hard case to hero deals with the body language here. So that gives you 25%. The conversational skills in Elite 30 gives you another one, that's 50%. So if you just focus on Elite 30 as Asian and you fuck the game, because in my boot camps, the very first day is just dealing with these 2. Day 1 is social calibrations, day 2 is just social skills. There was no game involved whatsoever. They just have to learn how to do these 2. And they fix the fashion and everything, and they're already getting laid or pulling, and the women's coming out on dates. So this game thing, right? Game is the hardest path without the value from these other categories. This is why they get over the line depending on their value. Hope that makes sense. So for Asian men, I would put everything, I would say for now, if you buy the bundle, you buy the Elite 30 and the playbook, right? The first thing Asians want to go to is like, John, I want to skip the social skills. I want to go to the game. So they start learning every fucking line from the playbook. The problem with the playbook is like a building. Okay, let's say this is a building. Elite 30 is like the foundation in the ground. It dig deeper. So the more you focus on Elite 30, and sometimes a student will sacrifice 30 days or something just working on this skill. Then they can build the building upwards, up from the playbook. But the problem is when you're building up without the foundation is their game does not go very high because this 25% is bigger than the game already. And therefore the building keeps falling. So the game, John, more game. And how I know this? Because a student of mine who's Vietnamese is going to be my boot camp, he was like, game, John, just game. So I forced him to work on social calibrations. He pulled right before the lockdown. And right now, after like 2 days after lockdown, he pulled again. But he didn't close, but he was working on his body language. So it only took him a few approaches. This reduces all the approaches down to nothing. Why not? Why doesn't everyone focus on social calibrations? Because nobody knows this shit. Because they don't know the science. If you were to see how fast my students pull or get late, it's usually within the first day. They either got the phone number that leads to late, or they pull women home on the first day. But if they're socially retarded, it takes a few more days. But sometimes they get late on the 4th day of the boot camp. Hope that makes sense. 4th or 5th. 4th might be the second pull, and the 5th is delayed. But somewhere like that is always science. Therefore, you don't attack them all at the same time. There's an order to the madness. Why am I sharing so much of the secrets with you? I don't know. I just feel generous today. I feel generous. I hope you're getting something out of this. I should not be sharing all this stuff with you. This stuff, nobody understands. And the good thing, all the other dating coaches would dismiss it. They all dismiss. They all think they know better, but they have no fucking Daygame testimonials. I'm giving you the formula right here, all here. So social calibrations. So that means if you just get Elite 30 right now, and you practice it over and over for not tired of fucking 3 months in a row, you'll probably pull like a couple women home, and you wonder how the fuck did they get to your home? Because Elite 30. Without Elite 30, it's just a playbook. While my game is already maxed out, you gotta think about even if it's maxed out and has 25% of that. It's not enough for 7 out of 10. You gotta get all the other categories. Now you're like, oh, John, I gotta maximize all this shit, and I don't even teach emotional intelligence. That's top secret. That's top secret. You don't even need it. You need to get this 3. That's 75%. That's more than enough to get you over that line. Now you get it. Holy shit. But people don't want to put in the work because they want game. They think game is a shortcut. They think game is like, because they don't want to put in the work. They don't want to put in the work for social skills. They don't want to work on reducing their autism or their negative emotions. They don't want to work on social skills because they don't want to talk to 10 people a day. They want the shortcut, the game. But game is only if it's at 25%. Game is a value delivery system. And you can see with different races, they have different value. So therefore, they need less delivery, less skills to deliver because they're already over that line. It's like, think about it this way. This is from Zara. This is from Zara. Zara clothing, because they're higher value over the line, Zara's clothing is so valuable to people, giving them what they want, that for Zara, the stuff just sells off the fucking shelves like crack. It's like you're putting marijuana or something on the fucking shelves and people are just buying. You go to Guess Jeans. Guess. They couldn't sell anything there. There's always a creepy fucking salesman that shows up and says, can I help you? And you're like, no, and you want to get the fuck out of the store. You see that? Because there's value. That means you can sell a better product like white people. White people are an easier product to sell online because you take away all these other skills. So it's just down to the value. Hope that makes sense now. Online dating doesn't count. None of the testimonials count. It's trash. It's trash. This is why they can only get night game testimonials and day game is mostly white people. It's a celebration of white privilege. A motherfucking-bration of white privilege. This is the formula, guys. This is way more advanced than what they understand. And who fucking dare call my game trash? My game, the algorithms, is something that's repeatable, and you can see it with all the students over and over again. Stats for online dating, everything, it doesn't change. The science does not change. So John's the real scientist here. They're just pretending. They couldn't even get one motherfucking day game fucking testimonial. Right here. Fuck, I mean, these guys are retarded. They talk about fucking like poker game or sales. Well, I just destroyed your fucking theory because there's a value. You can sell a better product for sales. My fucking God. You think the world's crazy, right? From my point of view. You think all these sheeps is no, because the sheeps can only see the smiley face. You can't see the evilness behind their eyes of these coaches. And like I said, a lot of these coaches, not all of them, but most of them, show up right after the lockdown. They think the gates are opening, money, and like fuck, they walk into machine gun fire, they get shot down, and now they're just saying, oh fuck it, just go back into lockdown. For me, I don't care. I'm not in it for the money. I'm here to help the Asian men. The race needs to survive, and after COVID-19, they're all gonna die. They're all gonna walk into machine gun fire. All of them. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna say, fuck you guys. 77 fucking Asian men in Vancouver are getting beaten up, fingers pointing at them, saying you started COVID-19 and spit on. 77 a week times 4. Holy shit. That's a lot of hate crimes that people are rising up for George Floyd. But what about the Asian Floyd? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Asian man, because the Asian man will not march. Because they don't march, therefore they never get hurt. And the only time they ever marched was when they whitewashed all the characters in Hollywood. When they whitewashed the fucking characters in Hollywood, then the Asians marched and said, we're not going to support you. And guess what? They stopped using white men as Asian roles. Because you stood up. Asian men are not fucking standing up. That's a big fucking problem. You guys are not fucking standing up. Yeah. I'm just telling you, after COVID-19, it's going to be harder for Asian men. When you got 0 for ethnicity, you better have a good Instagram to raise your value a little bit. You better have a good Instagram. And you better got social skills. Not socio skills, social skills. Now you're starting to see like, holy shit, this whole algorithm makes sense. And this algorithm is repeatable. That's the difference. For science, you have a control and you have a variation. I already spent 18 fucking years with this shit. Not 18 years, but I spent 18 years field testing. Field testing is for my body. Because I have the lowest SMV in Vancouver for my body. You may not think that I'm a pretty boy, or you may not think I'm that good looking. But when I look at a girl who's around my looks level, like 8.5 or something in the golden ratio, when she looks at me, her mind lights up. It's the same as that black student. As soon as you change his golden ratio, the women start matching like crazy. They've been matching like before you can barely get a match. You change the face a little bit. Guess what happens? It's a feeding frenzy. The women shows up. See, somebody give it 5 thumbs up. Now it's 4 because what I'm saying is too hardcore. It's the truth. I speak the truth. This is the gospel. You don't like it? Then go fuck yourself. That's all I'm saying. It's just the truth. I don't care. If it makes me lose money by speaking the truth, I'm going to speak the fucking truth. So many fucking theories out there. Fuck that theories. Why don't you just listen? And I get a lot of you are like zombies right now. You've been inside your fucking place too long. With autism and sheeps, for a lot of you, you just feel like you're in a fucking prison. That's why you couldn't wake up. You feel like you're in the fucking prison. And you've been there too long. You're no longer in fight mode. That's the problem with the Asians. They lost the fight in them. Everything is fight, flight, and freeze. Fight, flight, and freeze. FFF. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Right now, you've gone from fight mode, which is taking action. Right now, you're all in freeze mode. Eventually, you'll be in flee mode. And eventually, you'll be scared, and you'll be complete sheeps to the government. You'll be sheeps to everyone during COVID-19. For me, I'm always in the fight mode. I don't emotionally process emotions that much. I see the algorithms like a Terminator, like Skynet. I don't actually see all this emotions you go through. All I know is that your emotions are higher because of autism. Because of autism. You feel more intense emotions. I don't feel anything except narcissism. You fuck with my ego, then you get narcissistic abuse. But other than that, I don't have I'm not very emotional. And you'll see a lot of leaders out there, the presidents, the leaders, the CEOs, the police officers, the surgeons. They have this sort of mindset too. They don't give a fuck. That's what makes us work so well. That's what makes us leaders. That's what makes it so easy for us to process this, because we're not emotionally reasoning. And that's the problem. That's why you're stuck. The golden ratio, if my Pakistani mentor is not good looking physically, looks worse than me. He looks like a 4 out of 10. But he's able to go out there. Women are just throwing themselves on him. He can't stop getting laid, and the women are chasing him, over-taxing, just chasing him. The golden ratio is everything. His arrow is strong because he's Pakistani. He's not like a weak arrow. He's tall. He has wide fucking shoulders. That's the secret. His shoulders are huge. He looks like a football player. Look at Husky. It's not big muscles everywhere. It's the wide shoulders, stocky build. You know, with a stocky build, the women. So women are not into looks theory. They're not lesbians. They don't care about the looks. They care about the value, the algorithms. Even younger women, when they see the watches and stuff, and the streetwear, they're into it. They're into it. What the fuck? What the fuck? Because they're into it. So automatically, without any sort of theories, it's evolutionary psychology. Hope that makes sense, guys. Hope that makes sense. It's all here. I rest my fucking case here. Any questions? I mean, you couldn't even fucking defeat this argument. It's not just an argument, it's a science. John, do you do programs go over how to build social media from scratch? Yes, I do. Texting for minorities. But I had a black student that did not do too well in it. All the other students got laid. Filipino student, couple fuck buddies, Latinas and whites. He became an ungrateful fuck. He became ungrateful. Another Indian student, 5'4", he got laid from Daygame. But this black student fucked up in it. So that's how it is. That's how it is. Some of the concepts are taught to other people. In the boot camp, I taught the Asian guy 60 lays. 60 lays. But his golden ratio was not that low. It's just in Daygame, he just couldn't do the social skills and all the emotional stuff. A little bit autistic. No emotions. But however, online, he did very well. 70% golden ratio. And he's getting exactly that. So that's where you can learn it. Texting for minorities. Like I said, I can't guarantee you I can get like different races. If you're white, I could probably get you laid in like a few days. Less than a few. If you're black, you're in the bottom. I can't guarantee you anything. Asians are on the bottom too. I don't teach like fucking online game that much. But however, I taught text game for Daygame. It works like gangbusters. But however, people cannot always approach as easily as before. But I taught the other student in the boot camp the online, not the online, but the pictures, the algorithms. It's all algorithms, guys. Ones and zeros, value. Value. So that's all it is. Maybe just fucking take a picture of that and fucking paste it on your wall, because that's brilliance. That's more brilliance than fucking Albert Einstein. Not to be narcissistic, but that's brilliant right there. All this stuff, you can repeat the results over and over. I mean, Instagram specifically, not specifically, unless you take texting for minorities, unless you know, maybe you might learn a little bit on the inner circle. Just a little bit, like just a little bit. But I'm not revealing everything. That's for the students that pay for more. Why should I reward people who don't want to invest in themselves? People that don't want to invest because they want to hold onto their money because of COVID-19, because they're in freeze mode. Oh, no. Invest in yourself. It's like rehabilitation in that prison. Rehabilitate yourself with John Elite's game. Rehabilitate yourself. Grow as a person. Maybe read the Bible. Start to read Elite 30. Grow all the time. And spiritually grow. Mentally grow. Emotionally grow. Body language. Improve it. And then when you get back out of prison, then now you're rehabilitated. That's what you guys don't understand. You don't understand that you're going to go through a process of mental distress. But you guys are not taking anything. You're just freezing up and watching more Netflix. You're not going to get better. You're not going to pass the fucking test. Raise your value. Raise your skills. How do you think I survived COVID-19? Because I have high income skills. I know how to do sales. I got high income skills. I could do copywriting. It's easy. I got high income skills. My public speaking won this guy 3 fucking Toastmasters in a row. And then he got $2.2 million and he fucked me over. In 3 weeks, he won 3 Toastmasters. He got 3rd place at the end because he let it get to his head. Because he's a dark tetrad. Sadistic. And he felt so proud. It got to his head. He thought he was like white bread, too much value, and then eventually stopped listening to me. And look what happens, he failed. Thanks for great advice, John. John, thinking about buying a program after my internship. What internship are you talking about? All the hard truth that no one else is going to talk about. Yeah. Correction. Thank you for the science, John. Don't think about science. Just think about the truth. And Jesus tells the truth. All these people tell the truth. Guess what? The truth will set you free. It cuts through all the bullshit. So for all the Asians that want a girlfriend, I think it's about time you become more husband material. Like I said, you're not going to fit in with a 10 boyfriend girlfriends with this white girl. So unless you're tall, really, really good looking, or you have wide shoulders and stuff, and you have some value, you're not going to fit 1 in 10. So you want to be husband material. You want to fast track your way. You want to be in that category that you can fit into. And you can use the husband material the same day lay faster. So when she says like she's not ready to have sex because she doesn't want to do it too early, she might lose you for your value. Just say, you disqualify yourself. I don't want to be your fucking boyfriend. Close. Then you can work back on husband material. How do you think that bald white student who's not good looking, how do you think he got a girlfriend 6 lays in 24 hours? Husband material. You start with a sexual connection, you switch to the husband material. What happens if you use this Justin Wayne fucking bullshit romance? Game over. He'll never be with her. You get it? It's a science. Science. White, 10 out of 10 value. Hate to say it, but he's gonna admit, he's gonna agree with me. He goes to Portugal, he fucking pulls another woman, and he's about to close her. Every PUA was like recording him, say, holy shit, this bald white man, 5'7" with elevator shoes. Just fucking all the PUAs are all like minorities. They're Asians and Indians in Portugal. And they saw this white man walking through water, being trained by Johnny Elite. Fuck is like 2 out of 10 in looks, but his 10 out of 10 in value for being white. And I bet when I teach him some text game for online dating, he's gonna kill it again because he has the best Instagram. And the women, when they saw it, they gone from warm traffic or cold traffic to warm to hot. And I love the stream today. Thank you, John. How do you stay so positive knowing people are disgustingly racist towards Asians and don't recognize it? Well, I've been in the game for 18 years. I've seen everything. You kind of get battle hardened. That's how I stay positive. Because you know the science behind it. You know how it's like. The thing is that for grief, there's 6 stages to grief. So at first you'll be in denial, then you'll be whatever, and then you'll be like, 1 second. Okay. You'll be in denial, you'll be like grieving, you'll be like all this shit. But eventually, you'll reach a stage of acceptance, guys. So for COVID-19, I already accepted COVID-19. Therefore, I can start to operate. You're wondering, how come you're not affected by COVID-19, John? Your business is not affected by COVID-19. All the other dating coaches, the business is pretty much over. The red pill guys who gave me. How come you're not affected, John? How come you don't seem to be emotionally affected like everyone else? Why are you not freezing, John? Because I don't emotionally process things because I'm not an emotional person. It's not like I have low self-esteem and high ego and sociopathic and autistic. I'm not that trait. I'm not that trait. If you look at the comorbidities, I'm probably more of the psychopathic, Asperger a little bit. I'm not saying I am, but more of the ADHD. No depression or no delusion. None of the last one. I would say if I had to combination lock that, I would say that's roughly closer. I don't process like that. Like I said, people like that are not violent. They're not violent. They're just presidents. They're the top, they're the elites. All the elites, all the people here, the billionaires, they're all the same as me. Look at him, Michael Jordan, sadistic, doesn't care, competitive, narcissistic, can manipulate. And I don't use manipulation for people. Narcissistic, technical, all that shit. It's exactly the same combination. Steve Jobs, the same fucking thing. He's completely like, just like, he can be aggressive too, but they're not delusional. That's the difference. Difference between me and other dating coaches is I'm not delusional. I go with the science. So this is how I'm able to process COVID-19, like a Terminator, Skynet. I see nothing but ones and zeros in my mind. I can rap it. I can do all. The thing is that my mind works like it's a supercomputer. 100 years ahead of this fucking time. And I field test everything, split test everything. There is no theories. There's no theories. It just is it crunches everything, and it beats the shit of all the other dating coaches. When these other white dating coaches posting the same fucking 7 online dating testimonials and recycling them, and we're supposed to be impressed. Come on now, you are trash. Johnny Lee's the best. Johnny Lee's the best. Who the fuck do you think you are? Some fucking guy called Arnweek. He shows up and starts asking what's about John Lee, and he calls it trash. I call your game trash. The fuck you think you're talking to? It's like Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly. I'm way above you. Could even get one Daygame testimonial if you live to be 1 million or 1 trillion, just like your Brad ass kiss. That's all I'm saying. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You come after me, I come after you. And right now, Skynet does not see you as a threat. So stay the fuck in your lane and shut the fuck up with your big fat head. Look in my eyes. You think you're sadistic? Well, I'm 10 times more sadistic. It's like I'm like fucking John Wick. It's not you killing my dog. It's you trying to fucking blow up or name my house. Like the second guy. Part of the high table, right? But it becomes a game of cat and mouse. You don't want me coming after you. You don't. Because look in my eyes. I'm not deluded. I had the same look as Steve Jobs, the same look as Michael Jordan, the same look as Mayweather Jr. I'm not deluded. My students are better than yours. Online doesn't count. John, your content is so good, you should be a better camera and make better structure. Okay, sure. Your advice beats out everyone else. Of course it does. I would say for you guys that when you're watching this, I actually your camera. Just start applying this stuff. You want a girlfriend? You better start working husband material now. Widen your shoulders. You know, you can't change the golden ratio. Change it in your fucking social media. Figure out what the golden ratio is for the algorithm, and guess what? Adjust your face. The woman cannot tell. Your woman cannot tell. And win the game that way. So that when you get day 2s on Instagram, you're like, now it becomes a new funnel. Like I said, for me, I couldn't believe that all these other coaches, I'll tell you why they all fail with getting testimonials. They're all delusional sociopath. They're all delusional sociopath. That's all. Hold on a second. Bootcamp student. Okay, so he cannot hit the... We'll move on to the next exercise for your pre-bootcamp training. I understand that. You can't hit the facial expressions you're going to do in the bootcamp, but this is going to be the biggest sticking point. You're going to lack the congruency. So, yeah, bootcamp student. So I'm trying to teach him some facial expressions and shit, right? So he can't do it. Asian guy. But yeah, people are still coming during COVID-19 because people are not stupid. I only got 4 likes, but that's okay. There's so much value here. You can see how my game is fucking kicks their derriere. I'm like 100,000 years ahead. Like they're nothing. You can see Johnny Lee is so much smarter than them. You know, it's ridiculous. Their game in their mental filter. It's kind of like, you know, Dan Pena is like $1 trillion man. That means his students made $1 trillion. Then you got the guys who are making like 100 million giving strategies and 1 million and then 500,000 and then 100,000 and like crap is my king, 10,000. You're getting strategies like the lower level. That means no matter what they come up with their ideas, it's not transferable. You just be making less than them. I'm giving you the trillionaire game. It's repeatable. Almost every fucking bootcamp student poor got laid. Since I was John Wayne. Only 4 of them did not. That's it. Or was it 3? I'm not sure. I think it's 3, but it could be 4. That's it. All of them poor got laid. When I started, I was gaming elite since 2013. The Asians were not getting results at all. All the tall white people, all the tall Middle Easterns, all the tall whites, they're all getting laid. Because I got enough gold nuggets in my game. It's kind of funny, isn't it? but I didn't know what order to it until 2015. I saw Justin Win's game. It sucks. Romance does not work. I just switched things around, and I got an order. That's it. But that's all he helped me with. I don't use romance. Fuck that shit. That stuff doesn't work for negative stereotypes. My game steps on him like ants. He's only got 8 late testimonials and 6 of them are instructors. That's not game. That's money game, purple pill game. It's not the same. It's not the same. Trying to raise your status in money. With seeking arrangements. Come on now. You really think we're the same? When you see a scroll at 8.5, you're just like, fuck. It fucks up your brain because there's no money involved. I'm different than you. Here's the vault being open to the world. Way better than you. My mental filter works. Elite 30 came out before Pickup Master, and guess what happened? With your scam ring. You didn't get a single testimonial, you begged for it. But I got like over hundreds of them for Elite 30. You don't get it. You're stupid. You're the concept artist. I am the director. I make things happen. You just have theories. My stuff works. John, you're kind of insane when you do videos. Do you act differently while in the field? Yeah, very different because the Kaizen is different. So it takes 21 days to master a habit. So some of the students, when they do in the Kaizen program, so the 18 years, the habits are different. So when I talk to girls, it is completely different. I'm more of a happier person like this. Hey, excuse me. I know it's random as hell. It's COVID-19. I just want to come by and say hi because it is random, and you probably are not expecting a guy to talk to you in the middle of the pandemic. But my name is John. What's your name? Oh, I see. You look like you do some kind of yoga. Like, are you like a flexible person or something? Okay. Well, for me personally, right? And the reason why I came and talked to you. So when I talk in game, I'm completely a different person. It's not because, oh, you got to be the same person and improve your lifestyle or some bullshit and then you become that person. No, it's because the whole thing is Kaizen. It is like a perfect machine. It is all completely down. It's like Mayweather Jr. is not the same as real life. When he does the mitt work all the time, you see him like hitting the mitts over and over. Boom, 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 the same pattern. Because when he practices Kaizen, he goes in a ring. The opponents, when they try to hit him, his reflexes dodges everything. That's how I can do it in real time. That's the difference. I'm keeping it on the line. They don't understand this. This is like way ahead of them. I can adapt in real time. All they can do is think about compliance, non-compliance, one section at a time. I'm having a million algorithms in real time. They can't catch up. It's just too complex to keep her on the line because they're autistic. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. They don't get it. They can't do it. It's just too advanced. It's not just advanced, it's expert level. So it is a very different, like when I do talk to women, it's 100% different. And it's not like you can't be the same person because if they talk to women, they sound different. They sound more different. They sound friendlier. It's not the same thing. So if I'm a little bit crazy here, it's because I don't feel like wearing a fucking filter. I don't feel like wearing a mask like a sociopath. The sociopath, the red pill guys, they wear a mask. They tell lies through their fucking teeth. The charisma king. Lies, lies, lies. So that way, they can make more money off of your dumb eyes because you can't see the smile. You don't know you're going to die like sheep to slaughter. I don't feel like wearing a filter. If that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. So there's no filter. There's no mask. But some people say, you have to wear a mask, John. You have to be like the professional red pill dating coaches. What if I don't feel like it? What if I just want to be real and just say, here's the science? Fuck them. Fuck them. I lose money out of it. The sheeps get fooled because they don't see the serial killer eyes. Right? They don't see the serial killer eyes of these other red pill coaches. They just see the smile and they just see a smiley face. Well, fuck that shit. I would tell you so much fucking truth that your brain will snap out of their brainwashing. And you guys know you can't really there's no way you can counter it because the statistics too, not just the student results, but the online dating, everything, the whole science, the stats, the whole world is on my side, not on theirs. It's retarded. if they had their way of their looks theory, it's all looks, and it's like all like fucking chads or something. But blue pill. How many of these chads are with women that are below their look scale, so below their value scale, below their every scale? That's not results. That's just SMVing it. So how exactly is that a good thing? The guy's like 10 out of 10 in looks or 9 out of 10. He's getting a fucking 7.9, a bitchy woman who knows she's less than him. So she acts with more personality. Because she, that makes sense. She gets a little bit more jealous, a little bit more emotional, because she knows he can leave at any time. But he has no game. So therefore he goes after her. He's happy to get her. That's what happens. It's all arrow theory. Everyone has a different golden ratio. If I posted everyone's golden ratio, every dating coach, they all match exactly the women they get. And you're like, fuck, I thought this guy's ugly. Look at his head. But holy shit. This exactly matches the golden ratio. So what about this game, John? What about all these skills? What about all the stuff they claimed? They're just getting exactly the same thing as the arrow. That's something to keep in mind as I flow. So exactly every single person will get exactly what their golden ratio is. It's just more or less, depending on the arrow. So fix your fucking fashion and be husband material. Damn, John, you're giving it all away. You're generous. Even if I give it all away, I'm not giving it all away, guys. How much of the game do you think you understand in my brain? 1%. 1%. Just because you understand something doesn't mean you have to training or Kaizen to achieve it. That's why students train under me. Just because you know exactly what to do, not that you do, inner circle. Do you know the inner circle when I teach it? How much of it is like YouTube Live? You guys think it's probably very similar, right? On my boot camps. No. You're all on a need to know basis. It's like the CIA. Basically, it's like a pyramid, right? What you guys don't understand is that John Elite is so elite, so far across all of you. It's like a pyramid. You see that? So this is the lowest level, YouTube Live, right? Blog, you get more material. And then up here, you got inner circle, right? And then you got these other online mentorship. And up here, you got the boot camp. You don't know shit. The guy up here is learning different stuff than this, than this, than this. And the products are above the blog. So the products would be somewhere here. You ain't learning shit. How advanced is Johnny Elite's game? It's not the word advanced. Because the white people can't even get more than 1 testimonials. How are they advanced? They're not advanced. If you want to see how far the game goes, how deep the rabbit hole goes, take a boot camp. But John, there's COVID-19. I can't afford anything. That's right, because you didn't have the skills. That's a problem, don't you see that? You didn't have the skills. Because during lockdown, like the prison, you didn't develop your high-income skills. That's why you're a sheep. You got stuck here. Because you weren't elite, because you didn't want to listen to me. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. You're only learning like very little of it. You're just learning here, like a drop in the bucket. 1 drop. Today is just 1 drop. How much do I know up here? You haven't learned shit yet. Come on now. Stop being stupid. Stop worshiping like sheep. Open up your mind. Open up your mind. You don't know shit. In this golden ratio, no one's ever talked about arrow theory or golden ratio. Nobody. This is next level stuff. Now that you know that you can use your Instagram and readjust your face and get way like twice the amount of matches or 3 times, like a floodgate open. This kind of stuff. You know how to upsell and downsell. You know how to do objections. Am I giving all away? Doesn't mean you can do it. Just because you know a little bit more, you know a drop in the bucket, doesn't mean you can actually do it. This takes training, guys. This takes training. So even if you knew a little bit more, it still takes training. Learn from me. Look how many people, how many students, how many like testimonials, 400, how many, I can't even remember, 435 late poll testimonials? Could be more now. If you count the boot camps, it could be over 440. I have to readjust it for the, but you see my point. You guys haven't learned shit. How am I supposed to talk about so many topics on YouTube Live all the time? And you haven't even learned 1%. How much game is in here? 18 years of it. 18 fucking years. I've been teaching since 2013. These guys, when they call my game trash, I look at their fucking day game student results, non-existent. The so-called advanced, you couldn't even get more than one then. Come on now. Advance my ass. That's them being it. Not even that good at it. Just getting the same golden ratio, same arrow theory. Fucking stupid. Yeah. So just to let you guys know, you haven't learned shit compared to what's up here. It's scary what's in here. I am in the inner circle. It's like a Navy SEALs of players and naturals in Vancouver. They know more than me. As scary as it seems, you guys are only seeing from a very narrow filter of the game. All the stuff I'm teaching you is from the inner circle. The gold bars, the secret society. We keep this away from the public so they cannot really see. They can't be illuminated. You can't really see past the pyramid. They don't have the eye here of Horus. They just drive a shitty fucking Ford Taurus. And they just worship these stupid dating coaches. Come on now. Come on now. Sorry, I'm just flowing. I just can't stop flowing. My mind is like flowing like that. It's like rowing across the ocean. But yeah, you ain't learned shit, guys. You ain't learned shit. I'm gonna go get something to eat. Hope you learned something. God damn, you're giving all away. Like I said, just 1%. It's always gonna be more. I haven't even talked about shit yet. And I don't even care about giving it away. If it helps Asian people, giving at least that 1%, if it's this big, and it feels like a waterfall of information, then start fucking applying it. And if you need more help, take my coaching. Stop fucking around. Take my coaching. Stop listening to these white people. They're not going to get Daygame testimonials if they live to be a million. More than one. Next time, we should just go on all their websites and count how many Daygame testimonials for white dating coaches. They all have 1 or 0. It's like an algorithm. 1s and 0s, like the Matrix. Come on now. Only 4 likes. But eventually you're going to get it. I just want to spend some time with you guys today. That's why I was here. I was just bored. And I thought maybe I could deal with some misconceptions. And if I really, really want to come after them, I would. I just have to take down online dating. If I can take down online dating for them, then minorities can get more results than white guys. Then they don't have the exclamation mark next to the name because all of them are all into online dating. It's like their backbone. It's like what they depend on. It's like their plan B. We break that, we break their camel's back. It'll be like Bane versus Batman. It's going to be like a big giant snap in the crack. It's going to be like a crack popple. Yeah. Thanks, John. Okay, that's all I say. Anyways, see you next time. Maybe I'll be here more often because I think it's important that I connect with my audience because in COVID-19, a lot of you is feeling like a prison. And a lot of you need to open up your mind, be rehabilitated. I can't even pronounce that properly. Dumb as a hillbilly with so much privilege. Their game is trash. Come on now. All right. This is all I got to say. This is the last thing I got to say. I hope you enjoyed today's class. It's not a class. It's just 1%. Thanks, John. No problem, Blake. So, yeah, I got to get going. Too many students to deal with. Anyways, what's the best way to say goodbye? In what language? Au revoir. Choose. Baka. Joygin. How you say in Spanish? Adios.